The night Isabella Crane returned to the city, the air smelled of rain and unfinished business. 5 years had passed since she fled, broken and humiliated, after Jonathan Hale, the man she had loved, trusted, and sacrificed everything for, stripped her of her company, her reputation, and her dignity. Back then, she had been young, naive, and in love. She handed him the keys to her empire, believing his promises. In return, he forged signatures, leaked lies to the press, and whispered betrayal into the ears of board members until Isabella's legacy was no longer hers. On the same day she lost her company, Jonathan proposed to her best friend, Victoria. Isabella disappeared that night. Rumors spread. Some said she'd gone insane, others claimed she was dead. But the truth was simpler. She left to rebuild, sharpen, and learn the art of patience. And now, she was back. The grand gala was Jonathan Hale's pride, a glittering celebration of his company's dominance, of his wealth, and of Victoria on his arm. Politicians, celebrities, and investors filled the ballroom, their laughter rising under chandeliers that cost more than some homes. When Isabella entered, silence followed her like a shadow. The room remembered her, the fallen queen, the betrayed lover, the cautionary tale. But tonight, she looked untouchable, draped in midnight silk. Her smile curved like a blade. Jonathan's face stiffened the moment their eyes met. Victoria, flawless in diamonds, clutched his arm tighter. Isabella offered them a polite nod, the kind one might give strangers. The whispers began. She's back. Doesn't she look stronger? What's she planning? The plan had been set long before the gala. Isabella hadn't just returned for show, she had quietly built alliances, acquired silent shares, and gathered the very people Jonathan had discarded on his climb to power. Every deal he thought was his alone had a hidden hand, hers. While the orchestra played, and wine flowed, Isabella moved gracefully through the crowd, planting words like seeds. Investors learned of Jonathan's hidden debts. Politicians were reminded of promises he had failed to deliver. A journalist received an envelope of documents detailing years of fraud, signed and sealed with undeniable proof. And then came the speech. Jonathan, smug and flushed with wine, raised his glass at the podium. To the empire we built. Isabella's voice cut through the applause. Smooth, steady. Correction, Jonathan. The empire I built. You merely stole the keys. Gasps rippled. Cameras turned. All eyes landed on her. Jonathan's jaw tightened. You don't belong here, Isabella. She stepped forward, her heels echoing against marble. Funny. That's what you told me 5 years ago. But the truth has a way of finding its way home. Screens flickered to life across the ballroom. Documents, bank transfers, and emails projected for all to see, evidence of Jonathan's theft, his betrayal, his corruption. The journalist Isabella had armed nodded from the back, already live streaming the scandal to millions. Victoria paled, stepping away from Jonathan as whispers turned to shouts. Investors pulled out phones. Politicians quietly slipped from the room. Jonathan lunged for the microphone, but Isabella was faster. She leaned close, enough for only him to hear. Did you really think I'd spend 5 years crying? I spent them learning how to destroy you. By midnight, Jonathan Hale's empire was collapsing. His name trended across every screen, not for triumph but for disgrace. Victoria vanished into the night. Her diamonds no longer enough to bind her to a sinking ship. And Isabella She stood on the balcony, the city lights stretching beneath her like a conquered kingdom. She raised a glass of champagne, savoring the taste of victory. For years, people had laughed at her downfall. Tonight, Isabella Crane laughed last.